This is a quick video on how Buffalo area businesses can reduce their commercial cleaning costs, how they can save money on cleaning their building. And my name is Shane Dubell, and our company is Method Clean Solutions. We are located in the Buffalo, New York market. We specialize in commercial carpet cleaning, steam cleaning of tile and grout, and VCT vinyl floor stripping and refinishing. You can reach us at methodclean.com. And today what we're going to talk about are some ways that we can save money on our building cleaning costs without reducing the quality. Because right now what the big challenge is that business inflation is even higher than consumer inflation, and it can be 10-12%. But at the same time, we have a pandemic that is wrapping up, or maybe it isn't. So most building managers and owners are kind of in a jam a little bit that the costs are rising, there's a labor shortage, but at the same time, everyone wants to keep their office clean. So how do we do it? And here are some ways to save money. And the big thing with commercial cleaning is it's mostly labor. You can, depending on the service and the size of the building, labor percentages can be 40, 50, 60%. So if we want to reduce our cost, we have to reduce labor somehow. And here are some ways to do it. We're going to start off with commercial carpet cleaning, and where we're going to introduce is an account-based approach. And what this means is we want to squeeze more out of our budget, and we're going to do that by focusing on the high traffic areas and making a more effective schedule. A lot of times when people order this kind of service, they'll order for the whole building to be cleaned at one time, and instead a more effective strategy would be to clean the high traffic areas more frequently. So let's say 4 times a year, 6 times a year, but then the lower traffic areas maybe only 1 time a year, or maybe even every other year. And the way to keep the building looking great and uniform is by adding a spot cleaning to the service after cleaning the high traffic area. So for an example, a service, we would come out and clean the high traffic areas, the carpets in high traffic areas, and then we go around the building and spot clean any spills or stains. This way the building has a uniform appearance and it looks like it's being cleaned 4 times a year, but it's really not. We're only focusing. So this way you can save a lot of money, and at the same time the building still looks great. Waste removal, garbage cans, this is just a simply labor that the cost of removing all this trash and all emptying all these cans is just a simple labor task. And so what we see a lot of businesses doing in the Buffalo area, especially the large ones with a lot of cubicles, is they will have central areas. Instead of having a garbage can at every single cubicle and office, they'll have a larger medium-sized garbage can, and then employees just throw their garbage out in that central location, and not every single desk having one, which when you think about it, and if you have 100 cans and you can narrow it down to 10, that's going to save a lot of money in labor costs. Something that not everyone always thinks about is desk cleaning. Most dust is coming from us. It's coming from people. We shed skin, we shed hair, our clothes, our hats. This is where dust is coming from, and people can stay at their desk for 6 to 10 hours a day. So that's where it's all coming from. And what can happen is desks have a lot of personal items, so it's very difficult to clean. A simple solution is to have all your employees, your staff, to clear their desk 1 time a month, and then have the cleaning staff or a vendor or contractor come and dust and wash down all the desks. And that will save you a lot of money because you're taking care of the source. Often what we see is that you clean the blinds. Yes, the blinds look great, or cabinets on top of cabinets. But if the source is still there, they just become dusty again in a day anyways. And then it becomes a revolving door. So this is, you can cut back on your schedule then on cleaning dusting these other areas because you're removing the source. And that's how that works. Floor stripping and refinishing, floor stripping and waxing. Nowadays, floor finishes are very, very strong and durable, and they can last for several years in some cases. And a lot of managers probably don't realize this. And what can happen is people often will wait until the finish is completely decayed and it's gone, so you have to start all over again. And this is very time consuming to strip a floor all the way down and then put 6 layers of floor finish on. This costs a lot of money, and people really don't like to do it. So a better alternative that would not only save money but keep the building looking a whole lot better would be to instead have what's called a scrub and wax. And what happens there is we're going to leave most of the finish on, and we're only going to take off that top layer. And then this is a lot less expensive than having to take off 5 or 6 layers or 4 layers, and the floor is really worn looking. This can save a lot of money. The goal here would be to have 2 or 3 services of this smaller service instead of having that one big strip and wax done every year or every other year. The floors will look a lot better, and you'll get a whole lot more value out of it. And in some cases, you might even save money. Entrance mats. I think most people understand that entrance mats, they stop the soil and the sand, especially the debris, from coming in your building in the first place. But what can happen is the disconnect, I think, happens is that a manager, or especially in the financial department, will order more mats and increase their cost of mats, but then not decrease the hours of the vacuuming. So you don't see any benefit. The cleaning company sees a benefit, but you don't see a benefit. And that's a big reason why it's important to tie this together and say, okay, well, if I'm going to increase my monthly mat rental budget from $100 to $300, well, I need to get something out of that deal and reduce my vacuuming then, because in theory, if they works, and it does, then you won't have to vacuum as much, and that's very labor intensive. So you should save quite a bit of money throughout a month, and especially if you look at it throughout a year. A restroom steam cleaning, restroom floor steam cleaning, and walls. Like a lot of commercial cleaning tasks, restroom cleaning is very labor intensive. And with mopping, the challenge is that when you're mopping a restroom floor with tile and grout, what happens is the water just gets pushed into that grout line, and then it soaks that grout line where bacteria decay, and that's where the foul odors come from. Even though you mop and mop and mop and keep trying different cleaners, there's still some kind of an odor, and you can't figure out where it's coming from. Well, it's in that grout line. And that's why the solution is to have your floors and maybe even walls steam clean one time a year, depending on traffic, and then seal the grout lines. This will make it much easier for the daily cleaner to clean and reduce some labor costs. And your restrooms will smell and look a whole lot better. The last topic is safety, and most businesses are really good at safety measures that impact their employees and clients. But one situation that we see quite often is they're not always thinking about the contractors that are in there and what their safety procedures are and their workers' compensation insurance. Because what can happen is if you don't, although the contractor or the employee themselves can't sue, but the workers' compensation company is paying the employee if someone gets hurt, and then that workers' compensation can go back to the client, the owner of the building, and say, well, the work environment wasn't safe, and that can be a big snafu. So that's more of a long-term thing, but it's something that people don't always think about. They think about more of the employees and the customers, and not always the safety practice of the contractors and the contractor employees. Just having workers' compensation isn't really enough, because that insurance provider could end up getting into litigation for various reasons. So that's why safety is very important. A couple $100 in safety tools and PPE could end up saving tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And our company is Method Clean Solutions. We are located in Buffalo, New York. And you can reach us at methodclean.com.